Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Nelson.
And I'm Teresita.
And we are in Apopka, Florida. Today is Thursday morning. We are going to have a special treat for you. Mr. Frank Smith of Krull Smith has actually cordially invited us to come today for a sneak preview of the brand new showroom. And it's such a treat because I get to bring it to you guys. You guys get to be the first to see something that is so special. I don't really know. He's shown us some pictures, right?
Yeah, a few, but not enough.
Not enough to know exactly what's going on.
What we're gonna see.
But what we've seen, we like a lot, and we can't wait. This is going to be the beginning of an amazing weekend. This weekend they're holding the big fall show, which they do every November. Mm-hmm. And here at Krull Smith, they invite other vendors like Brethrens, Springwater Orchids, Blue Ridge Orchids, SVO. Like I've always seen a lot of people from out of town come here and hold like a really, really nice sort of like bazaar market of orchids. Yeah. So tomorrow, sorry, they're building everything for tomorrow's. We got to cope today with the noise. But anyways, tomorrow and Saturday, we're going to be here recording that as well for you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. But for today, enjoy this one because this one's going to be a good one for all of us.
Yes,
we're all excited.
Special. We're all excited.
So without further ado, let's go check out that showroom.
Let's go.
And here it is, guys. Here is the new masterpiece at Krull Smith. Their brand new showroom that is filled with beautiful orchids. I can't wait to see it inside. Oh my God. And there's our tour guide. Right on time. This is Julian, the brain, the dictionary of orchids, and the best tour guide one can get at Krull Smith. My God, this
Welcome on in, guys.
Let's get this party started.
Right. Well, just to start off, I mean, fun thing about this, you guys see this line right here? Mm-hmm. From this line over to that wall, that was the old showroom. So
only, wow, that was so small. Now looking at it in perspective like that, it was just very tiny.
Give a little more room in.
I mean, you look tiny in the center of all this. So how long did it take to build this?
We actually ended up closing right after the last orchid show in June. So it's been probably the first, second week of June. And it's been since June all the way till the first weekend of November. So it's been almost 6 months.
You built it pretty fast considering it's such a large structure and so beautifully done. I mean, I can't wait. And you guys are prepping today for tomorrow's big, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's big fall sale.
Oh yeah.
Or fall fair.
We got the Apopka International Fall Orchid Festival. It'll be starting up tomorrow, 9 to 5, all the way for the weekend.
Nice. And it's nice because we have the whole place to ourselves today.
I know, you gave me a little early, so you're doing great.
We're doing the VIP tour. Nice and quiet. So what do we have here?
Oh, here you got a whole bunch of mini vandas. So these are all kinds, and you can see all different colors of vandas that are all going to stay relatively small. They'll flower a few times a year. Lots of fragrant ones, but they're all kinds of, crazy different kinds of.
So these are great vandas to have if you have an apartment or something that you can't put the big vandas in.
They're great for an apartment on the windowsill. They're great for having a cramped collection down in South Florida. It just depends on where you want to grow them and how you want to grow it.
Now you're speaking my language. Cramped collection, that's me. So talk to me about these amazing vandas.
Well, we got a ton of beautiful standard vandas. Pinks. I love that orange. Honestly, that's my favorite.
That is a gorgeous one.
Isn't that beautiful?
I think I actually own this from you guys. And it's in bloom right now.
I don't doubt. That's the thing is, there's so many beautiful ones that there's plenty.
I forget some of the things I buy from you guys. And then when they bloom, I'm like, where did I get this?
Oh, then they bloom and you're like, wait a minute, I have 2 of these.
Right. Yeah, well, that happens a lot. And then, of course.
Yep, your favorite.
Compound Fantasy. It really is one of my favorite. I thank you so much for point because you were the one who influenced me to get this.
I remember there was one that had a massive open flower, and I was like, oh, we need to get this one to Nelson.
Let me tell you, that one right now, it gave me 2 blooms, and it's really beautiful.
And the nice thing is too, they'll open up one color and then eventually they'll darken up to another color.
Yes.
Sometimes they'll even just open up, a lighter color and they'll stay the lighter color. Sometimes they'll go dark and they'll stay dark. It really just depends on.
I like that you guys have them hanging here because the one I got was in a pot, but I kind of like them hanging like this.
Yeah, you can do them both ways. I mean, we've been growing these guys for a while. They've been growing great just hanging like that with the Vandas.
What are the prices of the compounds?
These guys are at 45.
45?
Yeah.
Because I know this is a really popular one when I show it in my channel. So most of my viewers have been asking me about this. They know that they can order it here.
Yeah, we don't have them currently on the website, but I got them rooting in, getting ready for the show season again.
Awesome.
Once they've rooted in, we can.
So you can ship those out, right?
Yep,
Once
the
they're
ones
rooted?
that are rooted in pots, I can get them shipped out, no problem. Those ones are a little bit harder just because they're in a basket.
In the
rather
preliminary stages?
well, they're in a basket, so it makes it harder to protect them.
Ah.
And of course, we got the Slipper Symposium down the road, so we've got to have a few little Paphiopedilum.
Now, you guys have the symposium is happening when?
So basically the International Vanda and Slipper Orchid Symposium is happening tomorrow and Saturday over at the Nosha building just down the street. It's a series of talks from speakers from around the world. You got Mr. Khan, which is what Paphiopedilum Kanye is named after. He's coming in showing all the pictures that he's taken all over the country, showing all different species, different fun locations where they're
He's
growing.
from California? Originally?
No, he's a Vietnamese.
Oh, he's Vietnamese.
Yep. And so you've got, you got a bunch of different people talking about breeding, talking about growing, talking about where these plants are in the wild. So it's a bunch of really fun stuff for both Vandas and for...
I need to do, because every time I come down here, I get so focused on being here that I forget about the symposium.
I love these.
This is beautiful.
Don't you just... look how dark those leaves are.
I mean, I know we're always talking about the orchids, but right now this show, this is like...
Yeah, you're going to say orchids and then...
I know. I'm sorry, I can't. It just takes my attention away. But the other plants are just absolutely stunning. Look at this.
This is the small one, right?
That's a small one?
Oh, they'll get bigger than that.
Let me pull back so I can show scale. Look at that.
At one point, there's the shield frond by itself, so the big, large, broad part on top will be taller than I am. Wow. So that gives you an idea of how much bigger it has to grow still.
How many banana peels did you feed this one?
At one point we might start having to sacrifice something a little bit bigger.
Right? Oh, here are my favorites. I love these Heaven's Gates.
And look who's exactly.
I know.
Heaven's Gate Crystal, that one.
I mean, this is heaven.
Look at that.
This is probably one of my favorite top cattleyas on the planet.
Well, you can't beat the color. It flowers 3 times a year. Has a light fragrance to it too.
This is so rich. Such a pretty flower. And you have a lot in bud. And by the way, guys, you're not breaking the bank for something this big. This is beautiful. And this you have plenty of.
Yep, Heaven's Gate, we've got a ton. It's named after his mother, so he made sure he had a ton of them.
Christelle, correct?
Yeah. Christelle. Whenever he's got something that's fantastic, he always names it Christelle.
Oh, really? Okay. That's good to know. What is this?
That is, no, that's actually going to be a Leo's joyance. Usually I have a little bit of that little flare at the end, which makes me realize that it's actually the Leo's joyance. They usually have a little bit more of the flare. You can see a little bit more of this one that's opening up.
Oh, yeah.
They're beautiful yellows.
It's really
Actually,
pretty.
before we start forgetting, we should probably look up in there.
Well, again, we're just looking at the orchids.
I mean, to be fair, the orchids are the best part.
Right? But these are amazing, man. These ferns are just on a whole other level of mammoth. Like you may see something the size here and there, but here you're seeing them everywhere. And this, what is this called again?
Those are called Medinilla.
I know they're really popular now. A lot of people are buying these, but I've not seen it in this size.
Well, a lot of people also call them like orchid bushes or something like that. They're not actually in the orchid family, but they're beautiful. They come from, I believe, the Philippines. And that's not, that's the funny thing is that's not even a flower. Wow. That's an old flower. Like the one in the back is in flower. You can see the little blue.
Where?
Back over here.
Oh, that little thing? No, that's as much as we go.
Oh, yeah.
So
the little white berries are one thing. On the other one, you'll see small little flowers on there. And that's what.
Oh, okay. It's almost like the bougainvillea, where the leaf, you think it's a flower, and it's really in the center.
This is actually another species right here. You can see the flower a little bit better on that one.
really pretty. I think this is like the one I had. They didn't do too well with me. This
I would love
nest
this one.
fern is...
I've never seen one this big. It's every time you know.
Mine is half that size. There's nowhere near this. This is really big. It's gorgeous.
I love it.
Do they release a flower?
They do not. Instead, with ferns, they actually release spores.
Spores, yeah.
And so those spores will spread and they'll actually germinate all over the place afterwards. Luckily, these ones are not the type to spread really easily. So even if they do germinate, you can just pluck them right on out.
Oh, okay. It's not like the macho fern that is.
It's not like the rabbit foot
ridiculous. Yeah.
fern and all that kind of stuff. These ones just, bloop, you're done.
So this, you know, I've never talked about this, but I think it's important. This is how you keep the place cool.
Yeah, so basically, well, cooler at least.
Cooler.
So this is called a wet pad or wet wall. There's a bunch of different names for it. And as you walk through, you can actually see there's water that's running through them at all times, especially when it's hot out. And as the water runs through, the fans will usually go ahead and turn on and bring that water through the greenhouse. And that's what's going to go ahead and evaporate, and then it cools down the greenhouse a little bit. It works really well in places that are dry and not humid, but Florida
We have a lot of humidity.
doesn't work as well, but it still cools it down just enough. So generally this greenhouse will stay at, 95 to maybe 100 at most, but that's about it.
It feels really nice in here.
Oh yeah, right now, especially with the
It's like air conditioned.
beautiful weather we've got outside.
Yeah, by the way, today's weather it's like perfection. You guys are getting the best weather this weekend.
It was what, high of 75 or something like that today?
I didn't even look.
It was beautiful.
It felt really nice.
This weekend, I think the highs are like 81, but it's gonna be cloudy, so it's gonna be perfect.
And then at night it gets chilly.
Oh yeah.
What kind of variegated is this? Do I
That
have
is
this?
a Monstera Deliciosa Albo.
Oh, this is the Monstera Deliciosa Alba. Because I have one that grows like this, but it's not a Monstera. I can't remember the name. You guys have it actually. You had it in the.
Oh, maybe the Epipremium.
I think that's the name. You had it at the garden. What's it called? Fruit and Spice. This past weekend in these totem poles.
Epipremium pinatum.
Now this here
I always loved
is a
little
Crayola
forest
box.
things.
This
Well,
is
actually,
really beautiful.
I'm just point this one out. If a lot of people know Brassivola nodosa, this is Brassivola cordata or cibulifolia, whatever we want to call it now. And this to me, instead of smelling more like, jasmine or vanilla, cibulifolia to me smells a lot more like citrus. And they get really floriferous really fast. You can see they're small plants and they're still putting in a ton of
It's
flowers.
really tiny.
So it's a really cute flower.
I really
And
like it.
If people know about it, people know Brassivola Little Star. That's another really popular one.
Yeah.
Nodosa times cibulifolia is Brassivola Little Stars. And so that's where the citrus fragrance is coming from in the Little Stars.
Oh my God! Everything is so interconnected when it comes to
See
orchids.
how we get in trouble?
And see how your brain blows up. That I
love
was
that.
looking at it earlier. Should be in an art piece. That is really, really pretty.
It really is, like you were saying, a Crayola box.
It really is a Crayola box. And guys, I'm not focusing on the names too much or going in on the flowers because tomorrow I will be doing that. Today is mainly about showing the setup, what they've done, how everything is displayed, and also to give you a little bit of tidbits.
Wait a minute. We went ahead and we skipped the bulbos. You can't skip the bulbos.
No! Trust me, I would not forget the bulbos. Look at that. War of the Worlds. Remember the
Little
aliens?
squid little thing, yep.
Yeah, that they would go.
Now this is a fun one here because I know that you've had one. So this is Boviphyllum romei by Canalabium. This is one of the smaller ones we've seen, but it's still a beautiful coloration, dark colors all the way through. And I know Nelson probably will pop up a picture right around here somewhere.
Yeah.
And he's got one as well that's also a beautiful one. But they have a big wide variety. This is just one of the darker colored ones.
Because you guys got them from seedlings, right?
Yeah.
So we're definitely gonna have a variation. If you guys buy any orchids that are cultivated through seedlings, they will vary in shape and color. I love those. Matianum, I think is.
Yep, Makoyanum. You get the orange one there. You get one that's a little more yellow over here.
Mine is yellowy, but I love them. I love their little faces in there. It's always a fun one. This is great.
Of course.
This is just
These guys are show-offs this time of year. It's
Really?
Boviphyllum Rothschildianum, and they go crazy this time of year. And you can imagine, I mean, this is still a relatively young plant, you know. You've got a few bulbs, but when they get big, we used to have one in a basket about this big, and you know, this size here, that thing would get covered in flowers. Actually, he ended up getting a 97 point CCE on one that had, I don't know, probably over like 100 flower spikes.
97 points?
97
points.
points.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
I really like these. You know, I don't own one of these. The Rothschildianum.
There you go. Actually, there's a few of them all the way through. This is the Christel's Ruby. So these are all divisions off of the mother plant. This is Christel's Ruby.
That's really cool. The Crystal Ruby?
Yep, Rothschildianum, Christel's Ruby. Oh, you gotta see these ones.
So that's the full name, right?
Yeah, Bulbophyllum Rothschildianum. So here, we'll look. You got the genus Bulbophyllum, species Rothschildianum, and the cultivar name or the clonal name Christel's Ruby.
Okay, so that's what Frank decided to name it because it's a fabulous flower.
Exactly.
He named it after his mother.
And these I love.
I love those.
I mean, you gotta appreciate.
I mean, really, that's like 12 inches in length.
We're getting there.
Damn, that's pretty. It's a beautiful bulb.
Oh, I love this one. This is a really cute species.
Yeah.
And you look at it and it laughs, right? It has a little moving lip, so it has a good sense of humor.
That's it.
But it stinks. It is a stinker.
I know. I reached out a little while ago to smell it, and it's kind of corpsey.
Oh yeah. Now the reason that they have that moving lip like that, and let me see if I can just, you know, break off a little piece right there. So what'll happen is a bug will go ahead and land on this lip, and as they start moving inwards, they'll put more weight towards the back, and as soon as that back gets more weight, it'll catapult the bug right into the back, right to where the pollen
Trap
is.
it in there, kind of, in a way.
Yep, trap it up against the pollen so that the pollen gets stuck on the insect, and then once it finally gets itself free, you can go to the next flower and do it again.
I'm coming back as a bug. It seems like that's a fun thing to do from flower to flower.
Right.
These I really liked. I saw them earlier, and I was like, what is this?
Isn't that a cute little species?
You had this on Instagram, I think, and something, and I saw it on social media. And I was like, what is that? Because, you know, it has cranberry and yellow, so.
Right. That's where you start getting in trouble, isn't it? Well, that's your color.
Every time I see a cranberry and yellow. You know, somebody accused me that I only show purple flowers. I started laughing so hard when I read the comment because that's so not true.
I'm like, that's...
Like, right? Like, yellow.
Yours is always yellow and red.
Yellow and red. That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking purple. Even though, true fact, my favorite color is purple.
Really?
Yeah, it is my... But not so much in flowers.
Yellow and purple. Is that what we need to find?
Ooh, yes, that would be good. But I'm not crazy about. Literally, I'm not crazy too much. I like them, but about purple flowers, because there really are a lot. But I think that this viewer said it because at the Fairchild Gardens, everybody had purple flowers, and I even told Terry, I go, wow, there's a lot of purple flowers. So there wasn't a diversity. But and they say you only show the purple flowers, and I'm thinking, really? I didn't think I did. So, you know, I say that purple flowers, lives matter.
There you go. Oh, here.
I love that one.
Now we can just open up the curtains there. That is Bulbophyllum sumatranum. This is a particularly good sumatranum. I've seen, you know, quite a good number of sumatranum, and you get lots of different color variations, lots of different shape variations. This is Bulbophyllum sumatranum adorable, which was originally bred by Bill Toms. And it's just a fantastic example of the species. And every time we put them on the website, they go fast.
Not to be confused with Jim Clarkson.
Not a Jim Clarkson.
Because there is a similarity.
Nelson's nose can tell you, it is a very different fragrance.
Yes, I put my nose to that.
One thing that you can also tell, so look at this Bulbophyllum. What do you notice about the colors? What are the colors on that?
Where are the colors?
Yeah.
Mainly on the bottom petals.
Mainly on the bottom petals. Those are reds, right?
Yeah.
Dark reds, oranges. A lot of times when you see reds and oranges, it's going to be a stinky flower because it's pretending to look like, you know, a corpse or a dead animal or something similar to that. Whereas the Claptonense or the Lobii that are the species that are in the Jim Clarkson are more yellows and lighter colors. And so they're not looking to attract flies, they're looking to attract bees or something similar to that.
So I was correct once when I said that the color of flowers contribute to the effect of a bug being attracted to it.
Yep, exactly. And not only in the spectrum that we see it. So actually, if you were to come out here, at nighttime with a black light, you would go around and see a completely different color patterning on flowers that you would never expect to have.
Wow.
Like for example, I think it was Digbyana. Digbyana, when you go ahead and shine a black light at night on there, there is a big, bright magenta or pink patch that goes right through the middle of the lip.
Oh,
it's like a landing pad
man,
for
I didn't.
those.
Now I'm going to start looking at night.
Bring out a black light and start looking at them, and you'll see there's a completely different color.
This is great. This bulbul here.
Oh yeah, this little bulbophyllum. This is a bulbophyllum frosty eye hybrid. This is frosty eye times Annandale. And this one I brought it on out because it's very similar to what we have over here, which are the mean poison raspberries.
That's a cool name.
Right. That's from a mean nursery out in Thailand. They do some great stuff too. And what I love about this is always that black lip, and that's coming from the frosty
I was
eye.
looking at that, the little mobile lip. Now, is that a lip labellum, right? That is the labellum.
So what you would see normally in cattleyas is that big floofy lip that sort of goes past the petals.
Yeah.
In here, you have a small mobile lip to go ahead and use that catapulting technique to bring the pollinators. And if you want to see frosty eye, which is the parent of
flowers, that is beautiful.
these are called the Dutch shoe orchid because they look like little clogs.
I call them that all the time, just because they look like that. I didn't know that that's what they're called.
Yep, that's the common name, the Dutch shoe orchid. And these particular ones are colchicine treated, meaning that they've been treated to potentially get tetraploids, which means bigger flowers, darker colored flowers, longer lasting flowers. So these guys are going to be a really good batch.
It's gorgeous. It's really pretty flower.
Oh, we didn't actually get a chance to look at one of my favorite little plants. It's not an orchid, but I do love this thing.
Oh yeah, that fern.
Used to be Lycopodium squarosa, Hupersia squarosa now.
Persia, right?
Yeah. Actually, I think the guys over at Tropical Exotic that's making have a whole bunch. They do?
I was looking at them.
Are you getting in trouble?
No, I'm not getting her Persias. I already have one. I have the Hang Hong.
Okay, all right, you got it then already.
And you know what? It's doing good, but it's just a very sensitive plant, especially in Miami. The heat.
Yeah, the heat probably.
It's too much.
I can see that.
So I have to move her around and put her in a cooler area, and now she's coming back.
There you go.
This pink princess here is just ridiculous.
Oh, you mean tiny?
She's very tiny. Yeah, she's a small princess, little princess.
What I love is
That half and
moon.
half, yeah.
I
When
love
you get
that.
those half and half,
little half moon leaves.
that is beautiful. And this variegated Monstera, which we already covered, is
Yep.
just
I
it just
actually
looks
love
very
this
pretty.
too.
That is really
Now,
nice.
this is still a baby. You have to understand, when this is fully grown, this leaf by itself will be taller than I am.
Jesus.
The leaf will go from the ground up to here, no problem. It's a fully grown plant. This is still a
Wow. What is that called?
baby. This one is Anthurium.
Antheria big baby?
Right. This is Watermelliense. There's a few other species that are very similar as well. They get massive.
Watermelliense. That's an easy name
Watermelon
to remember. Watermelon. Watermellienses.
Oh, this one. So I had to laugh at this one. So this is a Dieffenbachia. It's you see them a lot in landscaping and all that kind of stuff. This is some of the more uncommon ones, but that's not the reason why Frank
like
got it. It's
the
beautiful.
stem.
I know. I love the stem. The reason Frank bought this one, besides the fact that it's beautiful, this is called Dieffenbachia marialis, and Frank's sister, her name is Mary Alice.
No way.
And so, of course, the moment he saw a plant with her name on it, he had to go ahead and grab it right away. And that's why you've seen Cattleyas like Mary Alice Underwood, and you'll still see Mary Alice Underwood Cattleya, or RLC Mary Alice Underwood sold in Home Depots and things like that. And we've got them all over. Actually, I got a picture of one.
So this is what I have.
Yes.
This is what I have.
Epipremnium pinnatum.
Yeah.
And these guys are just starting out. They're still little babies, so
They
they've
get
just
big,
started.
those leaves,
the
right?
leaves will get like that big.
And
they'll
full
get
of fenestrations.
covered with fenestrations. Yeah. You can see a little bit more back on in here.
Yeah, there it is.
But they'll get massive. And that's the thing. If they are on the pole, they'll get huge. If they're not on the pole, they'll just stay small little leaves. Just like
Really?
other pothos, yeah.
Yeah, I put mine on a pole,
There
and
you
it's
go.
starting to get pretty big now. Pretty big.
There you go. And then we got a bunch of Anthurium out over here. Of course, you got to look at the nice wall of Phalaenopsis.
Oh, you know they're always my favorite. I've always said I don't care how many times you see them at Publix or CVS.
Oh yeah. And you know, there's a lot of people that come in, you know, that are just starting with orchids. When people start with orchids, a lot of times their first thing is this.
This is it.
This is their first thing, and so being able to.
The thing is, if you're starting with orchids, you never had orchids, and you start with something like a bulbophyllum or a cattleya, it's tricky. So you're going to lose that motivation and that desire to grow them. So when you have something like this, like I tell a lot of my clients, they ask me, well, they gave me this, how do I keep it? And I tell them the 10-minute water trick. Dip it in water for 10 minutes up to here, then pull it out and put it back in its space. And don't water it again until this is dry. Yep. This is how I've been doing it, and I got to tell you, it blooms over in my salon. That sometimes I forget to water them, and I'm like, oh my God, they're nothing. They're perfectly fine.
What I used to do when I was growing all my stuff indoors, those little bamboo skewers for like shish kebabs?
Yeah.
I would get one of those and stick it right through the middle of that pot. And if I ever had a question on whether or not, is it still wet? Is it still, whatever.
Pull it out?
Pull it out, check it. If it's still humid, leave it alone. Put it back
inside.
Oh,
I'm going to be buying skewers. I'm going to be buying skewers, and you're going to see skewers all over my greenhouse.
There you go.
That's a great idea. These are always, I love these.
That is called the Queen of Anthurium. That is Anthurium warockianum.
I love it. I have one, and let me tell you, I didn't realize that they don't like the heat of Miami, and the strong start heat we had, and it melted all my leaves. So now it grew one leaf, perfect. It's half this size.
Oh, you mean the new leaves? The new leaves got messed up in the heat?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes if it gets too hot.
They were all, and I guess they weren't strong. It's about this size now, the new leaf.
There you go.
So I'm happy that it's coming back, but I learned that they're very sensitive. Next time I'll just bring them into my house during the heat time, the hot summer.
Well, especially in July and August in Miami.
August is
especially more so in Homestead than in Miami.
Thank you.
Well, you guys are a little bit more landlocked, so you don't get the breeze as much.
It's true.
And you get a little cooler in the winter,
we get cooler, and we get a lot more humidity than they get in Miami. Yeah, we get more humidity.
Now, since we did look at the Queen of Anthurium, I do have to show the King. The King of Anthurium is Anthurium vicii.
Ooh, look at him.
Now, just to help on out, these are still young plants. These are little babies. This leaf can easily get another foot, maybe 1.5 feet longer, depending on the variety.
This is the king of this one?
This is the king of this genus. This is the queen of the genus.
Because I have both. I didn't know that. And you know where I got this, right?
From Kyle.
Here, when you guys had the silent auction.
Yeah.
I won it.
That was right. From the silent auction.
I won it. Which wasn't that silent, by the way. It was very noisy. It was like, me.
Listen, Alan from Gold Country Orchids, he's one of the best auctioneers you could ever ask for.
I think he's the one that he was running it. Yeah, he was doing it. It was a lot of fun. Are you guys doing it this time around or no time?
Yeah.
You are?
I'll wait for the symposium.
I love it.
I also love these.
Yes, those are really nice.
It's a little more common, but I absolutely love...
Those are one of my favorites. I do have that one, and they do so well.
Yeah, Anthurium clarinervium. It's a great species. I love the round leaves like this. They don't get really big. They're
the veiny leaf is just beautiful. That contrast between the white and the green, really nice.
And of course, we've got more ferns and more Medinilla. This one's just starting.
Look at that! Wow. I'm sure people who collect these who are watching my channel. This is a vicii thing again.
Yep, there you go. That shows you a bigger vicii.
That's beautiful. My VCIs are doing so. It was my very first one. I said, you know what? Best place to try is here. Might as well just. So I went for it. I won it. And you know who bid it against me and didn't realize it? Laz.
Was it Laz?
And I'm looking at him like, excuse me, what are you doing?
He looks over like.
He's like, oh, you're bidding? Take mine off.
Also, before you go anywhere further, look behind you.
Oh, man.
That is Platycerium elephantosus, the elephant foot staghorn fern.
Wow.
Or the elephant foot fern, whichever one.
It looks like an elephant's foot. All wrinkled and mammoth. Now, how do you water that? All the way up there?
Luckily, we are prepared for that. We've got these wonderful little, tiny little wands.
Extensions to your hose. That is a great idea.
Just to go ahead and water right there.
Wow. And was this custom made or you can buy these?
These were custom made.
Wow, that's really, really genius. Yeah, because you have everything way up there, and it's like, I know you don't have a watering system here in the showroom.
What, you don't think Frank's hopping up on the side of the lattice to water things?
I can't see that happening.
Me neither. I couldn't be up there trying to water those things either.
And these are Elizabeth Ann, these here?
So these are actually all but a whole seedling crop of Bulbophyllum Elizabeth Ann, which is a really popular one. You see Bulbophyllum Elizabeth Ann buckleberry all the time. It's a beautiful flower. They get long, beautiful trailing flowers. These are still small plants. I've already seen from last year when they flowered, these have already much bigger flowers, so they'll get even bigger as they get older.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful, beautiful cross.
Of all the bulbs that I have, this is probably one of my favorite.
Let me see.
I call it my Halloween bulbophyllum because every Halloween it blooms for me.
Yep.
That's
There's another one there.
And I like that there's so many diversities in the tone.
Oh, look at this one.
You get like,
Look how dark that one is.
gorgeous.
And look at the inside of this one's petals. I mean, all the spotting on the inside, the orange lip, beautiful.
See, I like clones because clones will always give you the exact flower. But what's special about seedlings is you can own the same orchid 3-4 different times and have 3 different or 4 different variations of that same flower.
Yep. And actually, now that you're mentioning something, so this Bulbophyllum Rothschild or Bulbophyllum Elizabeth Ann is a primary hybrid between Bulbophyllum Rothschildianum and Bulbophyllum longissimum. And actually, let me go ahead and see if we can do that. So we already saw Bulbophyllum Rothschildianum, all right, in the video here. This is the first one, Bulbophyllum Rothschildianum. And as we come on back over this way, I had to bring it on up because it's just beautiful. Now this is Bulbophyllum longissimum.
Oh, that's so.
And that's what it's causing, that beautiful long trailing flowers like that.
Yes. Those tassels.
I love it.
That is absolutely.
And some of them come out orange, some of them come out almost pure white. This one's coming out with a little candy stripe coloration on it.
How old is this?
You know? It's a good question. It's probably about a good
10 maybe?
8 years old.
8? Beautiful.
They're relatively fast growers.
Let me get a far. Oh my God, look at the profile on that. That's a beautiful, beautiful art piece.
I think we need a model here.
Where's my model? Look at her. She's been very quiet. You're really overwhelmed today.
Yes, I am.
Terry is so overwhelmed. This is her first time here, and
beautiful. I have no words right now. I'm just, between the scent and the place and this beautiful showroom. I mean, it's just.
Oh, that's the thing too. Unfortunately for the video, you can't smell this today. So
Yes.
right? It's not
Let
smell-o-vision.
me tell you, it is incredible.
I'm telling you, if you can get the scent of some of those Walkerianas and stuff like that and put them in a perfume,
Right? As soon as you walk in here, you get hit with the fragrance.
Yeah, you get hit with
It's really good. And by the way, we're mostly focusing here, but you guys also have vendors outside that will be selling this weekend. And also in that section, the fragrance over there is amazing.
they've brought a lot of fun stuff too. They brought
Brethren, Spring Water has amazing stuff. Florida Orchid House.
Yep.
I couldn't leave there. Well, you kept on calling me. I'm like, I'll be right there.
And then you got people like Alan from Gold Country Orchids. He's got a bunch of fun little miniatures.
We saw his minis. We didn't want to be like, because they're still setting up, but we were looking at some of the things he has. Everybody brought some really, really nice things, but I'm not going to show. Oh, we got to see this. I'm not going to show that till tomorrow. My next video.
I call this one Frank's Throne right here, right?
This is Frank's Game of Thrones. Now, is that like a buttonwood type of driftwood, or?
I couldn't tell you, honestly. Frank would probably tell you, but it's a beautiful piece of
It
driftwood.
bleaches really nice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. It's
And
like
you
a
get all the
beach
different gradients
driftwood.
in there.
And this is what? This is bromeliads.
Yeah, these are different
wild
Tillandsia.
bromeliads? Or?
No, these aren't wild bromeliads.
Not bromeliads.
Yeah, they're
They are bromeliads, right?
Yeah, different kinds of Tillandsia, different hybrids and different species in here. But just a bunch of fun little guys just to show off the driftwood a little bit.
They're beautiful.
And I don't know if we had a good chance to look at it, but look at the pergola. So
No, the pergola.
let me tell you, as much as I love it, this took, I think, 7 coats to paint. 7, they had to come in 7 times to paint.
Wow.
But it came out beautiful.
I'll tell you something. It'll never wear out.
Yeah, right?
We got 7. And this whole row right here, it's like, this is unbelievable. Look at how
Oh yeah, you get a great shot right there.
that's absolutely gorgeous. I think this is a hit. This is really a hit. Did we miss anything? We didn't talk about the elephant in the room. Let's go over there.
You know, it's funny because we were talking about the anthurium over there. I saw a small one. I'm like, oh, we'll talk about that later because we got
this.
Beautiful. These are Philodendron billetes, and these are the variegated ones. And I don't know, they just speak for themselves. I mean, look at that. I love that crazy yellow patterning onto the green. Some of it's completely yellow, some of it's got the splotching in there, or the little, you know, I don't know how you would call that, but different layers of variegation. Here you can actually see it a little better here.
Yeah, definitely layers of
So you see, there's a layer of yellow here, but there's a green behind it, so you don't see it all the way. You got the pure yellow there, you got, you know, there's just a bunch of different layers inside the leaf.
Yeah. Of plants. Looks like a calico cat. Look at this, how gorgeous this is.
Oh yeah, came out with this little pink coloration in there.
Now, I know that these are really, really exotic and that they're pretty pricey. Everywhere I've seen them, they're like in the thousands.
Oh, you should have seen a few years ago. Honestly, probably about a year and a half ago, plants this size could go for easily $8,000 or more.
Oof. What is something like this? Well, these aren't for sale, right?
No, these are his babies.
Yeah, of course. Now, if you were to sell one of these, you guys sell these here?
We have a few plants that he's let us sell, but not a huge amount. If I'm trying to remember the price, I can't even.
Probably 2,000-3,000.
Like 2,000, 2,500.
I've been seeing them at the shows between 2,000 and 3,000.
Yeah.
Which is it's crazy to pay that for a plant, but hey.
And you know what? The thing is, scarcity. You know, these are not fast-growing plants. They're not like, you know, Hoyas or pothos that you can cut and cut and cut.
Right, right.
And you can't propagate these through normal means. You can't go ahead and put them into a cloning media and just clone this as easy as you want, because the variegation isn't going to be stable in the cloning process. So these are all propagated through cuttings. And so every time you make a cutting, it takes a while to come back, and you have to, you know, they're not fast growers, so they have to take a while to be propagated.
So it's just like in the animal world, you know, when something is very difficult to breed or to propagate, it becomes way more expensive because there's not a lot of it out there.
Lots of demand,
and it takes a lot of work to get them to.
Yes.
Which a lot of people don't realize. People who don't grow orchids and just enjoy the flower and they buy it, they don't realize the level of care that it takes.
You can see he got distracted, didn't he?
I did. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to say what I wanted to say, but I'm like, okay, I'm going this way.
That is Cattleya bobbets, which is a famous historical white Cattleya. Huge breeder for whites throughout history. And it's been, you know, it's one of the oldest Cattleyas we still have. These is actually an original division, I believe. And it's just a fantastic bloomer, fantastic grower. Beautiful. And what happens is that when you look at this, you know, nowadays, yeah, this sort of shape isn't as fantastic or isn't as, you know, out of this world as it used to be, because this was the breeder that brought in the original full shape into the complex Cattleya breeding. And so it's a fantastic hybrid. It's an older hybrid, and we love it.
So you're the OG.
Yep. And this is just another plant I had out here just
That's
for fun.
That's really pretty.
This is a Cattleya. I know, right? A Cattleya or RLC Pamela Delgado hybrid. So one of our hybrids that we've made here. Pamela Delgado. Actually, I think we're going to be having clones of Pamela Delgado next year.
Nice. So these you don't have yet.
No. This is a seedling from a cross made probably about 6, 7, 8 years ago. And we never had a huge amount of them, but it's a beautiful little hybrid.
I love the labellum.
And it's a massive flower. I mean,
it's giving me a little bit of the labellum of Christelle, Heaven's Gate.
Yeah. Probably has some of that same in the background. But let me tell you, the nice thing about Pamela Delgado, and this is just a small plant, or it's not a small plant, it's a big plant, but it's not blooming as well as Pamela Delgado, the parent, does. The last time one of the Pamela Delgado was in flower, about like 3 months ago, it had 6 flowers on one inflorescence, 6 flowers on one inflorescence, 4 flowers on the other one, 4 flowers on the other one. I mean, it was going crazy, and it smells fantastic. I don't know if this one smells. I haven't tried that one. Pamela Delgado smells fantastic.
It has a fragrance. Yeah. It's very light now because it's already getting to later afternoon. This is the one that I was going to cut a piece off when Frank wasn't looking.
The one that he's going to.
But now that I said it on video, I'm going to. I can't do it anymore.
Put it in your pocket, right? You can fit it there.
It can. Trust me. I'll make it fit. That's beautiful. This is Monstera constellation, right?
Yeah, this is the Monstera deliciosa Thai constellation. It's a different variegation than the Monstera albo that we saw in the back, and it's actually also a different form of Monstera albo. So this is the large leaf form of Monstera deliciosa. This one gets very large, very showy, and the nodes or the rhizome is a lot shorter than the one on the
I see.
on the Borsigiana or the
And it's
smaller
also
form.
yellower, right?
Yeah, now this is yellow. Now there are also white large leaf form albos, so they'll get massive leaves of this and they have white leaves, but they are going to be not as common because they're not as fast growing. They're not as easy to go ahead and take propagation from because they have such short internode lengths. And so
It's gorgeous. This
when you
is
find
massive.
a white large leaf form, that's when they're really expensive and really hard to
That's
find.
the white ones are the ones I've seen online that are very pretty, and I keep confusing it with that one that.
Yeah, so those are the albo Borsigiana or small leaf form albo. Those ones, they're still, pretty decent price, but they're not anything near what the large leaf form would be. Large leaf form is a much.
I like that you guys put it here with the palm tree. It really fills out nicely.
And I don't know if we've realized this, but it's also very possible that this little plant is going to start doing this.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go up the palm tree. Let's hope it does. That will look spectacular, because then it'll give it more of that real grown in.
Exactly.
I mean, this place next year is gonna be completely
And
different.
this is just, the first, install basically of the showroom.
So viewers, you're getting the very first day before the first day.
Yeah.
Right?
The sneak peek.
So they're getting a super special treat, man. Julian, this is really outstanding. I can't wait to see tomorrow.
Give a little side right there.
People's there it is, scale. People's reaction to it, because everybody's gonna have great
I'm waiting to
reactions.
see people just walk over and just be like,
Well, you saw me, I couldn't close my mouth. I was like I'm like, this is crazy beautiful, and it feels so good in here. It really feels good in here. The whole environment feels very good.
it's nice and cool.
I love it. And I love your logos on the door.
Yep.
I mean, it's just so legit.
Oh, since we're gonna be stepping out, we're gonna be looking at the showroom of the vendors. But really quickly, I love these euphorbias.
Yes.
Don't you love these things?
I was looking at this earlier when I got here,
Those are beautiful.
and I was like looking. First of all, I was looking at the
silver white.
succulents. The beautiful way
Yep.
of decorating the bottom with succulents. I mean, they're massively big.
Beautiful.
I need to get one of these, because these they have in homesteads. They have them everywhere.
Do they?
Yeah, you can
they're
find these in
beautiful.
homesteads.
And of course, out there you can see we've got a
And
ton of
there it
vendors
is.
all ready for tomorrow morning.
It's gonna be great. It feels so good to be here when there's nobody. You know why? Because I can show it. Because usually when there's a lot of people, you start seeing the motion and you miss out on a lot. But we're gonna be here really early tomorrow to make sure we capture the early bird special.
There you go. Perfect.
Julian, thank you, buddy.
Of course, thank you for
Always
stopping
a pleasure. And I'll be picking your brain tomorrow and the next day, but I'm not gonna bother you too much because I know you're gonna be busy.
You're gonna see me going.
I'm gonna see you really busy. I try to stay out of you guys' way. All right, guys, that is it. That is the end of today's amazing walkthrough through the Krull Smith showroom. If you guys liked it, thank you, Julian, for giving us a tour. And thank you, Frank Smith, wherever you're at, for inviting me to come in a day earlier to get to catch it before the mayhem tomorrow, which we're looking forward to that.
Yes.
He's not. So anyway,
Plenty of running tomorrow.
you're gonna lose weight tomorrow.
Exactly.
You can eat all you want tonight. You're gonna lose it over the weekend. So anyways, guys, until the next episode, which will be the wonderful shopping day at Krull Smith. It'll be Friday. We'll be here Saturday and maybe Sunday. Depends how tired I am.
And it'll be plenty of trouble too.
Well, there's always trouble.
Yeah, always trouble.
So until next time, I'm Nelson.
I'm Teresita.
And I'm Julian.
You've been watching Nature Now, and remember to always keep it
green.
You're supposed to say keep it green. You know the drill.
I do.
See you next time.
See you guys.